I had to get this piece of bacon and a cup of coffee real quick. Real quick. Mm-mm-mm. Be eating on the mic. Mikey, what you doing up this early in the morning, man? This is gonna be a quick live. It ain't gonna be long. This is gonna be a quick live, not long. I got to get out of here. I got to hit these streets, right? But I just want to get on here and talk about. I want to recap a segment from last night real quick. Check, check. How I sound, Mikey? Mikey, how I sound, Mikey? Mikey, let me know how I sound real quick. 'Cause I'm not gonna be long. When can I call on the apps? They can't pop up. I'm not sure what you mean. Self-made Mikey, self-made TV Mikey, the king of the sector. I'm not sure what you mean, bro. I'm not sure what you mean. But look, good morning. I want to say good morning to everybody out there. Happy Thursday. I hope your day is getting off to a great start. Hope it's getting off to a great start. But I just want to recap from last night. This is a conversation I had with Mr. Tank, Jerry Neal. For those of you in the Las Vegas area, you know him as Tank, Jerry Neal, football coach, always in the community, always part of something, right? So let me be clear, right? We had this debate, last night, and Tank was on the side of, we was talking about hood fidelity, right? Staying loyal to the hood, whatnot, whatever. So somehow, the topic of gang banging came up, right? And he said he ran into a certain group of people and they was still about it. They was still. So I was trying to like, what do you mean by that, Tank? They still with it. Is that something that we should be proud of as a community? Grown men still using the gang handshakes, gang vocabulary, gang wardrobe. We don't think that has no effect on the youth coming behind us. And that was my whole argument. See, because honestly, that's one of the most dangerous lies we tell ourselves, that it doesn't have an effect. See, kids, they don't listen to adults, they copy us. They copy what they see. They copy what they see. Look, kids don't follow advice, they follow examples. So if you're a grown man in your 30s, 40s, 50s, still throwing up gang signs, wearing gang colors, using gang slang, see, you might think it's just harmless nostalgia. Harmless nostalgia, but see, a kid is watching you. A kid watching you doing that, he sees identity. He sees belonging. He sees this is what a man from my neighborhood is supposed to be. That's the example that sets. See, you don't get to decide how the symbol lands. You don't get to decide that. Only the kid does. Only that kid does. See, a symbol, it doesn't stop meaning violence just because you outgrew it. See, people love to say, oh, I'm not active anymore. It's just how I grew up. Nah. Nah. It's just how I grew up. Okay. But symbols carry meaning whether you mean them or not. Let me give you an example, right? If an ex skinhead, and I tried to break this down last night, but it was just off the cuff, so I didn't really get time to gather my thoughts. If an ex skinhead comes outside waving that swastika and he says, relax, I'm not on that type of time anymore. Relax, I'm not on that type of time anymore. Does that symbol magically become harmless? No. It still stands for what it stood for, hate. It still stands for violence. It still stands for death. Gang signs, gang colors work the exact same way. They don't turn neutral just because your intentions changed. Make that make sense, people. Get your coffee this morning, man. Get you a piece of bacon. Get you some oatmeal. I'm not going to keep y'all long this morning. I got to hit these streets. I got to get some work done. So they don't turn neutral just because your intentions change. See, if the OGs don't grow, the kids don't change. Let me say that again. If the OGs don't grow, the kids don't change. You can't tell a teenager, stay in school, stay out the streets, and then flash the same handshake that got generations killed. Make that make sense. That's what they call mixed messaging. This ain't the life you want to live. This ain't the life you want to live. Nah, man, stay out that. But then you still doing all that. Kids copy your image long before they copy your wisdom. Let me say that one again. Kids copy your image long before they copy your wisdom. Sometimes it takes us until we get to our 40s and 50s before we start to wake up and see and start trying to get on a better path. See, if the man who survived the life never evolved out of the life, how do you expect the next generation to choose anything different? If you look at our youth right now, how do we expect some of them to change anything different if we haven't changed what they see, what they take in? What is their example? It's hot as hell in here. I know that. It's too early to be this hot in this house. Thank y'all for the couple of likes. Hit that like, subscribe button. Vegas Live Podcast every Wednesday, 6 p.m. See, people say it's culture. A lot of people say, it's just the culture. It's the way we grew up. No, it's trauma that we have normalized. And now we're passing it down like a family tradition. Culture should elevate you, not trap you. It shouldn't put your kids in danger. If something destroyed thousands of families, why are we still defending it like it's a souvenir? You can't be proud of where you're from without dragging the negative symbolism into the future. I mean, you can be proud of where you're from without, I misspoke. Sorry about that. You can be proud of where you're from without dragging all that negative trauma, all that negative symbolism into the future. Come on, people, what we doing? Real world consequences. Real world consequences, they hit the youth, not the adults. Let's keep it real. Let's just keep it real. A grown man can throw up a GAN handshake and walk away. But a 14-year-old copying that, he can lose opportunities. He can get profiled by police. He can get jumped, robbed, or killed just for looking affiliated. You might feel safe with it. Kids aren't. Your nostalgia becomes their consequence because you want to keep something alive. See, leadership means looking like what you want the kids to become. That's so basic, right? That's so basic. Leadership means looking like what you want the kids to become. At some point, maturity has to show up in your presentation, in your vocabulary, in your actions, in your energy. Being a grown man means nothing. I mean, being a grown man, how do I want to say this? Mm. Being a grown man means modeling evolution, not recycling the same behavior that destroyed the generation before us. If you want to make the path better for the youth, you have to look like better. You have to give them hope. We have to give them hope. Now let me get out of here, man. Like I told you, I wasn't gonna keep you guys long, but it was just something that was on my mind. So yeah, symbols matter, behavior matters, image matters, and pretending that grown men still partaking in gang affiliation, everything that surrounds that has no effect on the youth. That's a lie people tell to avoid accountability. It's simple. If we keep the symbolism alive, we keep the cycle alive. But if we change the image, we change the future. And that's the real conversation that needs to be had, man. Thank y'all for joining me on this short live. But I got to hit these streets. I got some work to do. But this is a deeper conversation that I believe that needs to be had, because when I look across YouTube, I see a bunch of channels, and they come under the guise that they're trying to change and trying to be a positive influence, but at the same time, they're still repping the hood. They're still bringing up past trauma, and the youth are watching. The youth might want to get those stripes because it sounds so cool. I put in work back then. We was the toughest gang. We was this, we was that. I was the toughest this, I was the toughest that. That's not pushing them away. That's drawing them to it. If you're going to denounce it all the way. Vegas Gates, man. Start to the mind, ends with the grind, man. Vegas Live Podcast, man. Y'all hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube. Get your coffee, man. Y'all be safe out there, man. And thanks for joining. Peace out.